Indian guest then, Dr. Mohsin Khatri. Dr. Mohsin, can you hear us?
Good evening, respected seniors.
Oh yeah, we can. Yeah, we can hear you loud and clearly. Yes.
Thank you.
So you talk to us about colorectal surgery, right?
No.
Double J stent in the duodenum.
Yeah, misplaced stent.
I was joking.
So I'm gonna share the screen, right?
Yes, please.
If I may assist you with that, you can use
Yes,
the
please.
green button at the bottom of your screen labeled Share Screen
Yes.
on Zoom. Okay. We got your screen. Please open your PowerPoint in full screen mode. You can go ahead. Thank you.
Good evening, respected
Okay,
seniors.
Dr. Khatri, go. Yeah.
Dear friends, greetings from India. I'm Dr. Mohsin, presenting an interesting case report that is misplaced right DJ stent into duodenum. It's a rare case presentation. DJ stents is a common practice in urology. These are common complications. Complications in DJ stents are stent encrustations, fragmentation, migration, stent malposition, stenturia, stent fracture, forgotten DJ stents, urinary tract infections, and severe LUTs due to sensitivity to these DJ stents. In our report, it's a rare case presentation. A patient with a chronic right flank pain, on imaging, we found that upper end of DJ stent was misplaced. Upper coil is misplaced into second part of the duodenum. So this is our case. He is a 59-year-old gentleman presented from a northeastern part of India, roughly approximately 2,000 kilometers away from our clinic or hospital. So he's a diabetic and hypertensive. He presented with complaints of right flank pain, a dull type of pain on and off since 3 months, with a low-grade fever on and off and mild dysuria occasional. So we asked for on history and further history. He said he underwent a right DJ stenting 3 months ago. We go through his records. In his records, it was found that he underwent a CT scan which revealed a small right hydronephrotic kidney with a retroperitoneal mass. So due to that hydronephrotic kidney, retroperitoneal mass, and there was a azotemia noted at the time. So they have probably they have stented there. They have did a DJ stenting. And they did a CT-guided aspiration of that retroperitoneal mass, and that retroperitoneal mass was close to upper ureter and pelvis, and it's at the level of L1 and inferior part of the pancreas behind the D3, D4 segment of the duodenum. This is exact description of the mass as per the CT scan. And later they did a CT-guided aspiration of that mass, and they have found that acute suppurative inflammation in cytology. So they have kept on long-term antibiotics. Subsequently, the mass has been resolved. The patient has visited us for stent removal as well as for his chronic pain since 3 months. We did a normal lab test as well as routine imaging. We did a CT scan for him. These are the recon images. What you are seeing here, there is a upper end of the DJ stent coil this is coil uncoiled, and this upper tip is seen in the second part of the duodenum. You can see in this film as well. This proximal tip of DJ stent in the second part of the duodenum, and this is a malposition right DJ stent upper tip with showing pyelonephrotic kidney, small kidney, and this excretory phase of the images showing a small contracted right kidney. And there is no evidence of that retroperitoneal mass in our CT scan taken after 3 months at our institute. So hence we want to confirm further. So we have taken our patient to our medical gastro colleagues. So they did a UGA scopy. In the scopy, colleagues surprised to see a stent, upper end of the stent, and that second part of the duodenum. So hence we confirmed that that stent was there in second part of the duodenum. We want to find out the function of the kidney. So we have gone through DTPA next. In DTPA revealed 8% right kidney function is 8%. So we have discussed with the patient about this poor functioning kidney with a stent in the second part of the duodenum. So we have advised him right nephrectomy. At the same sitting, we want to remove the stent. So the patient and attenders were agreed to the procedure. We have optimized the patient after anesthesia clearance. We have posted him for lap right nephrectomy. In routine general anesthesia, left lateral decubitus position, and we have gone through varus needle access. And, after pneumoperitoneum, we have mobilized the colon. After mobilizing the right colon, there was a quite difficulty in identifying the ureter. With a great difficulty, we have identified the ureter, and we have traced it proximally up. And there was dense adhesion noted, probably due to the previous retroperitoneal inflammation or mass, which was seen before 3 months ago. And for further dissection, we found that duodenum is closely stuck to the pelvis and upper ureter. This you can see the intra picture. On further dissection, on dropping down the duodenum, we have found a stent piece, a stent that is protruding out and entering into the ureter. We have cut the stent there, and we have removed that proximal bit tip of the stent, as well as the complete stent. We have removed a stent in toto in 2 fragments through the port. And we have proceeded with nephrectomy, right nephrectomy. We have proceeded with right nephrectomy. So after removing the stent, we found there's a tiny orifice due to the stent in the duodenum. So we call our surgical gastroenterology colleague for opinion, and we have closed the duodenum in 2 bites using 2 vicryl, and the rent was closed. And at the end of the procedure, we have ensured that the rent is closed properly, and we have placed a omentum over it, and we have treated the specimen. And the patient was quite well in post-operative period. So he was shifted to a ward from recovery. And we kept him on nilperoral for 3 days with continuous Ryle's tube aspiration. So after 3 days, we allowed liquid sips on POD4. We allowed liquid sips. Gradually, he tolerated liquid diet. And on the day 5, we have removed drain, and he's on soft diet and discharged to the hotel. So he has visited on us on day 6 with the biopsy report showing the chronic inflammation of that removed specimen. And hence I conclude my talk. It's the first, to our knowledge, this is the first rare case presentation of upper end of the DJ stent misplaced into second part of the duodenum. A misplacement of the DJ stent may happen in these situations where the inflamed pelvis and ureter. The guide wire, while stenting blindly, guide wire may perforate inadvertently these structures and entering into the duodenum, creating a false passage. When we railroad a stent through it blindly, the upper end of the stent may inadvertently faulty placement of the stent may take place. So avoid blind DJ stent insertion, especially in these acute inflammatory settings. So hence the DJ stenting is a common routine practice in urology. So one can avoid such situations by stenting under guidance of image intensifier, preferably by using RGP or by deploying a guide wire under vision, ureteroscopy, deploying a guide wire under vision and come out and stent it. That's the best way if we are not having IA in a periphery locations. And laparoscopy is a great help in these situations. In this case where a lot of dense adhesions noted. So in this case, we were ready with the open set. Suppose if any case, if there is any chance where case was intraoperative with difficulty, we are ready to turn it open. But fortunately, everything went well, and we have completed the nephrectomy laparoscopically. Thank you one and all for listening me, patient listening, and I thank SLRs for giving me opportunity, and African Association, and thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mohsen. This was a very interesting talk, I found, and hopefully we will not encounter these cases more often. I have some questions at the end for you.
Sure, sir.